Ekwa miwe tenota epe sikoskat. I said thank you, and I give thanks to Creator for another day, and also in Thanksgiving for supporting one another in this learning journey. So my name is Gilda Soosay. My Cree name is White Wolf Woman. I'm a master's student. I don't know if you all got a chance to read my bio, but it says a lot in there. I work with a youth treatment center. I work with youth who struggle with addictions and also mental health issues. I also sit on the board of directors for Kasoko Child Wellness Society here in Musquecheese. Right now we're in a meeting and I took time off to come and share my what knowledge I have with you. What I wanted to share about and talk about was reciprocity and ethical space within our agency and all of the outside agencies that we work with. Ethical reciprocity is the giving and sharing of information, but also gifting one another. That's reciprocity, right? I don't know if Manisha, have you all had a teaching on reciprocity? No? Okay. I'm going to share a little bit of what reciprocity is in the Indigenous worldview. So Mio, which is Cree for good, is an integral quality and manifestation of holistic relational epistemology. Mio is about sharing and generosity, respecting the earth and all its inhabitants, working hard and caring for other people. These qualities are about Mio Witsituan, good relations, which is the heartbeat of the Plains Cree culture. Irene Kaliu, a Métis elder, members of her Cree grandmother, speaking of how these values were part of daily practices. Quote, my grandmother used to dig up medicinal roots, and when she dug them up, she placed tobacco there in the hole. I did not know then why she put tobacco in. She didn't know why she put tobacco in the hole. Kaliu tells us of showing respect for the earth, of reciprocity, and of the importance of observation and attentiveness in learning as knowledge is transmitted through kinship relationships. The importance of land is tied with the value of collective responsibility and stewardship. A prevailing teaching that is an Indigenous research framework must not solely be an intellectual construct, for it cannot be understood in the absence of its practical manifestations, which involve living life in a way that reflects with goodness, that reflects Mio. So in the Indigenous worldview, everything is connected, kinship, even to the plants, to the waters, to the air, everything, even to this Zoom that we're having here. What we have now here is an ethical space that is created for each of the agencies that you work for and the agency that I work for. So an ethical space as defined is, and I got that from Margaret Kovat. She's an Indigenous research scholar. That's the book Indigenous Methodologies. And ethical space, the focus of ethical space is on creating a place for knowledge systems to interact with mutual respect, kindness, generosity, and other basic values and principles. All knowledge systems are equal. No single system has more weight or legitimacy than another. But in the agency that I work for, we have numerous people applying through the courts for permanent guardian orders, permanent guardianship orders. And some of them were not successful because many of the cultural plans or connections to their culture are not adhered to, kinship ties are not respected, many of that. But the most recent case that really blew me away was the court case of 2 youth who are being raised by a non-Indigenous foster parent. recently we apprehended the children from there because there was concerns of high risk, how would you say, high risk harm to them because they're not being properly cared for. So anyways, the foster parent took the case to court and she was awarded interim PGO custody until October. So we appealed. And in that court case, the judge had stated that there was socio-political hybridity. I'm like, what kind of word is that, right? Because they're concerned that because the children were with the foster parent for many, many years, I think over 10 years, that they considered them children of the foster parent, that we were doing more harm. But the mother, the biological mother and the foster mother have never connected. The bio mother has been wanting visiting rights, never happened. So in this case, there was no ethical space. There was no respect. There was no reciprocity. We just felt so, how would you say, defeated. But we rose up. We're going to appeal, and we're going back, and we're going to keep fighting for our own children. Because by every human right, they deserve to know their mother, and the mother deserves to know their children. So that's one of the major cases where I thought that I would share, and also other outside agencies that we work with. There's always funding issues, right? We have to pay for our services. We have to do due diligence, to our kids. And if we don't do that, there is no ethical space. There is no reciprocity. So for me, when we start our meetings, we also smudge, and with prayer. When we're allowed in hotel rooms, they don't allow us to smudge, but it's always in the back of our minds when we're not able to. But we also start our meetings with prayer with an elder. We always bring an elder wherever we go. Also, when we're meeting with I guess the big shots, I'll say the government, provincial government leaders, they've actually come to our agency, and we usually have a ceremony, like a pipe ceremony or something. So that window or that door of understanding our worldview is respected, and that they get the knowledge that they need to understand where we are coming from as Indigenous people working within these government systems. So I think that's all I need to say right now, Manisha.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
So thank you, Gilda, for sharing from your board perspective about ethical space and reciprocity. Gift giving and there's more to reciprocity, which has existed for so many generations, and we don't really speak much about reciprocity in our, reciprocity is for everyone. All these stakeholders involved at all different levels. So where do you think we get lost with the reciprocity message? Institutional factors, systemic, interpersonal, individual, cultural, social. Michelle, go ahead. Sorry, Nicole, go ahead and ask your question.
Oops, I touched the wrong video. What you said, Gilda, really resonated with me. And I know here in the North region that the director is not, or the managers or whoever, like they have to have the consults with. If there's not a cultural plan that has been done, if there's not been connection, and this stuff needs to be demonstrated, they're like, we're not doing this. We need to see that this is being done for these kids' sake, that they're being connected to their communities, to their families, and to their culture. And it's just simple as that now. So I'm really happy to see that these practices are changing, because I do believe that no matter what, children should be connected to their family. So I just wanted to share that. Things are changing and it's good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing. And Jill, go ahead.
Yes, just real quick, I missed the name of that book that you shared. Can you just give that again, please?
It's called Indigenous Methodologies by Margaret Kovach. Characteristics, conversation, and contexts. Yeah.
I'm so glad, Gilda, you're using it. That was your textbook in the research and writing class too. So that's good. I can share the resources with everyone. Thank you, Gilda. I know you're busy, so you can sign off. Exit my stuff. And to all the attendees, now we are in the last leg. There are the last session I have with Montana, Pauline John, and you'll enjoy her presentation. She'll share her everyday lived experiences working with families, children, foster parents, and making sure it's a safe place for everyone. I also invited two people who are working and have many years of work experience in the children's services and youth services and prevention services. They are our master students. So they're doing a practicum. So just for 30 minutes, the last hour, I have them in the, I invited them to share because they've written a lot of essays and they've done a lot of presentations. And Leanne Three Sons is from Blackfoot Territory, but she's a student here finishing a master's degree. And I have 5 students. So Gilda was also my student. I'm just supervising their final master's degree, her final practicum right now. So I invited her to present. And Leanne Three Sons is from Blackfoot Territory. Like you'll be wondering, like Gilda said, Creefoot. I know we are saying Nehiyaw. So Nehiyaw means Cree for like each word. One of the things you were asking me, how am I learning the Cree language? Another, like I'm learning it through many different ways. So if you know how to learn any languages, you can apply to it. Indigenous languages or any languages is root words. So Nehiyaw comes from 2 root words. Nevo, which means 4-bodied people. That's the first part of Nehiyaw. Yao means body. That's why Cree people are also called 4-bodied people, because it's the fire, sun, these natural entities, we are part of them. So thank you so much. And we really, thank you, Nadine, for sharing the library. And I think that's really good. And I hope you can put the prayer up there too. I want as many people to use the prayer up. Like, please share the different JPEG images I sent to can be used as coloring sheets. Give it to foster families or as many people as you like, or to learn the Cree language, because you can make it like flashcards too. It's a single image. You can repeat one word for 1 week because it's yourself you're learning, right? And I look forward. Okay, that's good. Indigenous Methodologies by Margaret Kovach. That's good. Because she speaks about storytelling also, like story work, Achimowin, and one chapter is just about Nehiyaw. If you see, we cannot pan-Indianize the different indigenous cultures. That's why Nehiyaw epistemology is different, Hawaiian epistemology is different. The kinship terms used are different. So use it, like which kinship term do you plan to use? Just think about that in the lunchtime. Like for me, Rita just adopted Nimis. Nimis is older sister, Nisimis is younger sister. So even if when you're visiting any Cree people you're going, if they are older, younger to them, you call them like Nimis if they are older than you, and Nisimis if it's they're younger than you, a female, then that you have built the connection immediately. Like you are inviting yourself to be adopted into that culture family. And also if it's a Male, you can say nistes, which means brother. You know, like you, in English, we hear the word so many times, bro. I think we should use the nistes instead of bro, you know. Like try to infuse the language as much as you can. And I think, as Rita taught me, the code of behavior is in the language, you know, how you present yourself, even as children, like, so thank you. I want you to enjoy your lunch. You know, breaks are extremely important. Self-care, have the gift of time, and we'll meet at 1 o'clock. Thank you. Exe, muestas.